everyone? Welcome to the 31st episode of the Bauer Hour. I'm really excited for this show. I've been looking forward to it for the past few days. This episode is going to revolve around martial arts and tricking. And when I hear the word tricking, first of all, a whole bunch of things come to mind. Crazy flexibility, finding the limits of the body, and just doing really ballsy stuff. And I have the absolute pleasure of talking to one of the people that's pushing the boundaries of this crazy sport. Michael Gurthie, welcome to the show, man.
What's up, man? Thanks for having me. I'm super stoked.
Oh, man.
Just ready to get
dig into some good stuff here, man. Cool. Well, with my athletes, I like to start with the background. So fundamentally, you're a martial artist. For those people that don't know, you did a little bit of cheerleading as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Yep. I've done martial arts since I was 3, and I'm 22 now. And then I did cheer for off and on 2 years, maybe a little more.
Gotcha. So why did you initially get into doing martial arts?
When I was 3, because my family, like my dad's parents, raised him doing karate, and then he raised us doing karate. So it was just like a family business always. And then from there, I just kind of took off and traveled and got on a world team and compete on a national circuit and stuff like that professionally. So that's kind of what my job has turned into. Like I teach. I mean, we're doing this interview now via Skype, and I have I work through Skype as well. I teach private lessons through Skype. So, I mean, it's kind of revolutionized my living. Martial arts has, at least.
That's really exciting, man. And you said it was just karate?
Yeah. Like, I grew up doing Korean Taekwondo, and then got into doing some, like, Japanese karate within the last year or so, and now really just kind of focusing on the creative, musical, and extreme stuff anymore. And that's pretty much it. So I did Taekwondo too. I did about 10 years of just Taekwondo. I got into a little bit of that tricking stuff later. But did you do the whole forms breaking thing and sparring, stuff like that? Yeah, I've broken like boards and bricks and stuff like that. Not competitively, but for like to get belts and stuff like that, of course. And also just kind of for fun. You said, have I done forms and stuff like that? Yes, that's what I kind of still currently do. I haven't been able to compete yet lately this year just because I've had injured ribs. Just from an injury, and haven't been able to.
How did you injure your ribs?
Actually, it's really a crazy story. I was jumped when I was moving.
Oh shit! I heard about that.
Yeah, some kids jumped me because they were going through my stuff while I was doing the trailer, and they didn't even notice that I was there. And they said, we started going at it, and they picked up like a huge rock and tossed it at me, and we went after it.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
dude, you're not the right guy. I wouldn't want to mug you. I think you're probably.
They definitely left with their marks. I don't.
Jesus.
I don't know how those kids got away.
That's messed up, man. Did you get them with a good 540 kick or something?
No tricks, but definitely got them good.
Good, man. Well, hey, I'm sorry to hear that, but
yeah, it sucks because it definitely put me out. He's definitely probably out longer than myself. I got him on a good arm bar and just didn't stop.
Yeah, there you go, man. Got to crank it down. So did you do any grappling before, or is it just mostly kicking?
Actually, yeah. Growing up, my dad had in our karate school a wrestling instructor that we were in tight with, and a grappling and stand up UFC type fighting guy that taught at our school. So I learned a lot from those guys in the classes that they did. So I did wrestling as well as a kid. So I kind of know some wrestling, and I know some grappling, and I know a little bit of those things and locks and whatevers.
Right, all that good stuff. And that was one thing for me too. I did just Taekwondo, and honestly, that's so much kicking. It wasn't even that much hand striking. So then I went back, I did a little bit of boxing, did a little bit of BJJ, just to kind of round myself out a little bit. Because it just kicks are kind of tough to use in a situation like that. Let's just say you're wearing pants or you're wearing shoes or something. So to defend yourself just with kicking is kind of difficult.
Right.
But yeah, man. Another question on your progression. So I mentioned I did Taekwondo before. I just stuck to the very basics. I was doing, forms. I was doing the breaking, a little bit of sparring here and there. Eventually got bored of that. And then, maybe 6-7 years in, I started getting the 540 kick, aerial, and I kind of went more the extreme route. And then I did gymnastics in college. So then it's just kind of this crazy transition. But I'm curious, when did when did you discover tricking in your martial arts career?
Oh, so I did martial arts just traditional Taekwondo up until 9 years old, and when I was around 7 or something, probably around that age, 2 boys came to our karate school. They were 3 years older than me, and around 2 years later, we kind of started to grow in the belts together, and they we all went to Arnold Schwarzenegger's tournament in Ohio, and there was like we saw Matt Mullins and Jonathan Boyd do some like XMA show, and so from then on we started to try tricks and stuff like that. And we watched this like XMA documentary on Discovery Channel and found out about like Craig Henningsen, Matt Mullins, and Sideswipe, and like Sensei like John Sharkey, and then we went up to their camps and learned like XMA and karate from them or whatever, and tricking kind of came from there, and now I've been tricking for like 12 years.
That's awesome. So what did the beginning few years of your tricking career look like?
Well, it was on carpet, like dead carpet floor. So it was like round off fulls and backflips we were trying, and 540s and V-twists and gainers, and trying every trick that existed back then. There wasn't cheat 720. I mean, maybe once or twice, some of us would go for like a 900 or something like that.
So in doing this sort of stuff, when I was trying to learn tricks, I mean, I'm not a crazy tricker. I'm more of a clean kind of gymnast kind of dude, but I still love throwing the tricks from my, the Taekwondo background. But let's talk about mental blocks. I encounter those very frequently, and it doesn't seem like you have very many mental blocks at all. Is that correct?
Early on, I did, actually. I used to trick completely on my other side. Like, I used to trick everything on the other side, all the way up to double fulls. And then one day I did a round off double full, and my feet missed the floor, and I landed on my back, and my head smacked the floor. And I was like, "Yep, I'm never tricking on that side ever again." So that's when I started tricking on the left side. And so that was probably like the first 2 years of my tricking career, probably, and then the following 10 have been on this side. So
that's interesting. So what are you dominant on your right foot?
Like kicking?
Yeah,
I'm pretty comfortable with both, but like I guess if it's like tricking kicking, I do all the rotations looking over my left shoulder.
I had to deal with some of that too. I used to twist the wrong direction. Now I twist to my left now. What was that transition like?
It was pretty interesting. It was awkward at first. It was kind of easy to figure out because I kind of figured out everything pretty recently on that side already. So it was pretty simple to figure out, but it was kind of a long process, but it was worth it because I was more comfortable.
Right. I have a question here on flexibility. So part of my podcast is dedicated to flexibility. I'm interested in what kind of flexibility practice you have.
I just kind of like follow the stretches that I have always known from martial arts and stuff like that, and try to stretch like every morning and night, just like right when I wake up and right before I go to bed. And I use a foam roller, which is this guy right here.
All right, the rumble roller.
Oh yeah, this thing's awesome.
Actually, I think mine's right here in the background.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, those are good, man.
Yep. So I use that guy and try to stay as flexible as possible. I mean, I haven't really gotten a trick at all, but twice this year, but recently, just because of this injury. So I've just been trying to stay really, really flexible for the past couple months. But yeah, I mean, other things that have helped me if I'm ever like intensely sore or having too much pain in some area, I really just go to YouTube because YouTube has like everything. I look at like yoga for lower back pain or something, and then that usually helps me out.
Right. So are you training front split, middle split, things like that?
Absolutely.
Okay. And how long have you had those skills? Pretty much as long as you can remember?
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. What kind of issues? You said you had a little bit of lower back pain. What kind of other issues do you have you come up with?
Oh, I just have a lot of like spinal pain and issues and stuff like that because I think it might have been like 2008. I tried a double Webster and I was pretty close, like landing on my butt, but there was an 8-inch foam mat in front of me, and I was trying it from Axe, like swing Webster, and my foot scraped the 8-inch mat, and I still for it, and I landed head first onto that mat, and like immediately I like just went stiff. My buddy had to like get me in his Jeep, and he took me. He was like, "Should I take you to the doctor?" And I was like, "I'd rather you take me to my chiropractor." So we went to my chiropractor, and she was like, "You're lucky that mat saved you from being like paralyzed." Basically.
Paralyzed.
And so I just like had to go through a bunch of therapy and stuff like that for my spine. So that's kind of what caused all those like issues in that area.
So is that probably the biggest injury you've had in tricking?
Yeah, and that's probably the longest I had to wait out. And I've torn like my MCL and
Jesus.
Like it wasn't like a bad tear. I didn't ever need surgery or anything like that.
Right.
But it was from a pretty nasty crash.
So how did you recover from a knee injury? I mean, that's so tough. If you look at a lot of the trickers nowadays, they're taped up. Their entire lower half is pretty much taped up.
Um, I had a guy that was around our karate school, and he was a pretty good family friend of our karate school. And as soon as I was hurt, the next day he checked me out and kind of like put me through the whole process and really got me like on the right track with how I need to heal it and everything.
Right. We're going to take a little bit of a turn. I have never been into a tricking battle. I've never actually seen one live. I've seen them on YouTube, though, and I spent yesterday looking at a lot of your stuff. What are those tricking battles like?
Depends, man. Depends. I mean, you definitely have to reference as to which one. Sometimes it's pretty chill and friendly, and you're like, good game, man, type of thing. Sometimes it's really intense. Like, to reference when I was in Amsterdam, there was just a little bit of beef that had went on between the Team USA and Team France just from some of the judging decisions that the Team France didn't like and just things that went down. And that battle was absolute heat. Like, there was nobody was friendly to anybody. Like, it was straight up.
Jesus.
I don't know. I mean, we shook hands before and after and stuff, but once you were in the battle, it was very serious. So, I mean, sometimes the heat can be very realistic, and like the beef can definitely come out.
Actually, a few things. The one that I watched yesterday, you guys were all friendly and loving each other. I don't know which one that was. That may have been in 𝗕𝗄𝘃𝗃.
Oh, yeah. Those battles, I mean, the energy in that was like absolutely insane. And those battles were insane, but like at the same time, it was all like super friendly. But even
that's
still,
what it looked like. It looked cool.
We'd throw each other some like smart remarks just to kind of get under each other's skin, but it's all friendly.
That is, good friendly competition. All right, man, I'm curious about this beef. What happened was it just a judging decision between you and the other team?
So I was part of the judging decision for the single battles, and I judged the battle between Tristan something and Jacob Pinto, and I voted Jacob. And France had some guy that had started talking about me, and like France had their own television crew at the event, and they were like talking French, and like one of the guys pointed at me and started talking French into the camera or whatever. So I was like, that motherfucker. So so I brought him over, or the gathering organizer, and I was like, yo, I want my team to battle his team first round. And then there was like a big beef after that, and they were like, no, we're not going to battle you first round. And I was like, I don't have the absolute positivity that you're going to like make it far enough into the rounds that we meet.
Yeah.
And they were like, dang, okay. So we kind of had some beef there, and
that's exciting.
We eventually actually met up somewhat into the rounds, and that was that.
That's good. What was the outcome of that situation?
Well, the first 30 seconds was pretty insane.
Yeah.
And then Jacob Pinto tore his knee, so we paused.
Oh, no.
And then King Vu replaced him and came in, and we finished the battle, and Team USA won and went on to the final round. I ended up winning the entire thing, and it was cool. But, yeah, Jacob's healing up. He's good. He's had surgery, and that was the outcome of that.
So how do you guys determine Team USA? Is there a governing body to tricking, or is it just pretty much the group on Facebook?
Kind of like pretty self-organized. I mean, when we get there, obviously like they organize per country kind of thing. Like each team has a country or whatever, and they ask like who's gonna kind of take the lead in organizing that. And we did that like actually quite a bit of time before. I mean, probably months before everybody had their teams ready for the Amsterdam event, Hooked. So I mean, we planned quite a far ahead. Like we knew who was from USA and going to the event, and we all Facebook messaged each other and got ourselves like, okay, yeah, we're all in, we're good. So then I messaged the organizer and like, this is our team for Team USA, and then everybody has their teams or whatever, and then we meet up there. So long as everybody gets to the event and it goes down.
That's sweet, man. Question on building those teams. When you think about tricking, there's kind of like the flippers, there are the twisters and the kickers. Do you try to really mesh all that stuff together to make a balanced team, or is that just irrelevant?
I definitely think you should have a balanced team, but I don't know. I just like teaming up with my homies.
Yeah. Who's on the Team USA? Who are your homies?
We had 𝗕𝗄𝘃𝗆𝘆 from SGTF in Ohio, Ryan 𝗵𝘂𝘃𝗀𝘆, same case. And then Jacob Pinto, myself, and I'm forgetting somebody, Bailey Payne.
Gotcha. Cool, man. What's your favorite part about the tricking community?
Tricking community? Oh, I don't know. I wish it was a little more professional. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what my favorite part is still. I don't know. I mean, like, when I've gone to the European gatherings, it's way cooler than what I've experienced in the American gatherings, just because I've been to so many. I feel like, or I mean, some American gatherings can definitely pull it off, like, and they definitely know what they're doing. In some places, there's other drama and areas. Like sometimes I just think that the sport is a little too small so far, and we just need to kind of grow and be ready for the next step. But I think that transition is happening because there is a pretty good group going on, getting everything organized and making sure everything's cool. So I don't know. I think my favorite part is that there is a group of people that take it very serious and like they're really trying to push it to the next level and make sure that everything's going good and smooth and people do care about it. So, I mean, there's definitely ups and downs. So that's probably my favorite part is that there is people that really do care about it and they do push to try to get it going on to the next thing.
Yeah, and I think I really like that, but I think one of the appeals to it is that it's kind of like ragtag and rowdy. Like that Facebook group is just so, it's so fun. If you're just sitting there, I mean, it seems like everyone's, even though there's like a little bit of beef going on, it seems like that's kind of part of the fun,
Yeah,
you know? And
it's
maybe
so
if you add
fun,
more structure.
the community and just like tricking in general, there's always some kind of beef drama or some kind of entertainment going on for sure.
Yeah. No, it's always cheap entertainment, so that's pretty funny. What was your first tricking gathering?
OMG 08.
All right.
Yep.
And tell me about
Ohio Midwest Gathering 2008. John Vanek and Ben Towles flew me to their house, and we had a gathering out there, and it was awesome.
Sweet.
And that's when I kind of discovered 𝗕𝗄𝘃 and really got into twisting and tricking and took gatherings and tricking a lot more serious.
That's sweet. Okay, so let's dive into this. I have a few questions on this. Were you originally, do you consider yourself a kicker?
No, I probably more so like just a twister. I've always just liked twisting and focused on twisting. Even now, I just rather like to do twisting or just like style things. But kicks, I've always just done them just because you kind of have to have them. There's definitely times where I have fun with kicks, and I definitely like doing them. But often, more often than not, I'd rather even just not do them.
I mean, that sort of seems like it's the general consensus, at least from the USA side. But if you look at communities, well, obviously you look at the Asian communities, most of that is kicking. Well, a lot of that is kicking. And then when you look into the US, it's a lot of swinging corks, cart wrap, cart kind of whatever tricks. So
yeah,
I think that's pretty interesting.
It definitely varies per country, how we trick.
Yeah, so how are the Europeans different from you guys, or is that a similar style?
It's pretty similar. They are pretty heavy on the twisting side, I'd probably say. They I don't know, they just have a different style. They have a different way of how they do stuff.
Right. That's interesting, man. Let's talk a little bit about your cheerleading career. So was this kind of something your girlfriend got you into?
Actually, no. That's how we met, though. So
really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's exciting.
We did I did. Me and my buddies, we went to open gyms, like those two guys that I told you about earlier, karate guys. We started going to open gym at this cheerleading place, tricking because we liked their spring floor, because we'd never really done spring floors before. That was kind of still new to us, so we dug that. We went there. The guy saw us doing doubles and other crazy things, and he's like, "Yo, what do you guys do?" And we're like, "Tricking. What is this?" And he's like, "Cheerleading. You want a spot on the team?" Because he owned the gym, so he was like, "This is what it costs, blah, blah, blah." And then we all went back, told our parents about it, and we were like, "Dude, we can't afford this." And he was like, "All right, we'll pay for you guys." And we were like, all right.
Those are really, it's rare skills for dudes to just be throwing doubles.
Yeah, so having
any
three
team
guys to come in together and do doubles and be able to put girls in the air and stuff, they were happy. And we were
there you go, man. That sounds
the jumps and stuff, which took us time to figure out, obviously, but it was good. But yeah, we traveled. They paid for us to travel and paid for our rooms and stuff, and we were homies and did that. And next thing you know, they were kind of moving on. They were done, and I still did it at that gym. And the next thing you know, I met my girlfriend now, Brittany, and she came from the rival gym. And so we met, and then I was like, all right, peace out. I don't even like cheerleading. I'm just doing this, so I'm going to go over here.
You got what you wanted, man, and then you got to get out. What kind of tumbling was it? Was it just backhand spring Arabian, step out kind of stuff?
Actually, no. Like in the routines, we always went hard, like as hard as possible. Me and my buddy, we always had competitions. We were like, all right, who's going to get last pass? Go for it. So I don't know.
What would you guys throw? What kind of tumbling?
Like whip Arabian to whip, punch full, punch double, and my other buddy would do round off kick Arabian or round off kick double or something, and then I did I don't know, probably the same things, like something like that. Round off whip Arabian, round off whip kick double, or something like that.
That's pretty sick.
Some stuff like that. I've tried to do like the double punch doubles. I think I only ever did it like successfully once.
You could swing it though. You could swing through.
You did standing double full, and then hand full punch doubles and stuff like that.
So how did you learn? I mean, Arabian's more of like a structured thing. How did you get going with back handsprings, round off, stuff like that? Was that just through martial arts training?
XMA and stuff like that. In your forms, you always had like a round off move. So I knew how to do a round off like backflip, round off full, round off double full, because we just wanted to learn how to do twisting and stuff.
Right.
And then once we got there, we kind of really had to figure out back handsprings and whips and stuff like that. And that's really where I learned how to tumble was cheerleading.
Right. Yeah, honestly, man, a lot of these guys that are really good at tricking, too, were former cheerleaders just because they have all that power.
Yeah.
So, all right, man, a few other questions here. What do you consider your greatest achievement?
Oh, man. And what? Just in general?
Let's do just tricking, and then let's do a life.
Okay.
I want a life.
And tricking, for sure, triple. Definitely biggest accomplishment, for sure. Life, I don't know, man. The fact that I can figure it out. I can always figure it out. I've always been good at that. I've just kind of been on my own since 18, really, and I've had people that have helped me out for sure. But since then, I mean, I've always, when I've moved or when I've upgraded or when I've ever like done anything or whatever, year after year, I've always gotten something nicer or gotten something bigger. So I've always kind of just gotten better and better at life as time goes by. So I guess that's what I'm proud of, is that I can get by and everything's cool.
So you pretty much don't believe in plateauing, right?
No way. You gotta go.
Let's talk about this triple because that was absolutely insane. That was a world first trick, correct?
Yes. No one has done it since. Still, not even me.
Oh man, that's so sick. That's so cool that you can say you've done
do it since then. 12/22/14. No one's done it since then. Not even me.
That's it was gravity was lower that day or something crazy.
Guess.
So how did you build up to that? I mean, obviously you probably did double, so whatever, however variation.
We're very easy. I could do dub trip, I could do dub trip, and then I just kind of got triple corks easier and whatever. And then I started training cart trips and cart trip swing gainer and cart strip swing cork and cart swing.
I saw that one, yeah.
And then I went to the gym one day and literally got there and did cart trip first trick, and then second trick did cart trip swing cork, and then third trick did cart trip.
Just skipped the double and just pounded that in.
It just was there, I guess.
So I'm curious about your training. Do you take video of yourself to just dissect your movements or something like that?
I mean, of course, I see my movements a lot because like I'll film or whatever, and then I sit there and edit, and like you have to chop that edit up, so I see the clips like a ton.
Right.
But other than that, I don't really pay too much attention to it. I watch other people and don't really actually watch tricking too much very often, actually.
Right. That's interesting. Yeah, there's too much to watch anyway.
There's a lot to watch, and just like the recent footage of tricking is kind of different for me to watch because I'm just used to, I guess, a different style. So I don't really watch a whole lot of it. I just kind of watch older videos still of people like 𝗕𝗿 and other people like that. And lately, that's kind of been my inspiration to get me going again, and that's about it.
That's sweet. So as far as technique is concerned, you just have some guys with you that know how to do all these tricks, or say, okay, well, swing more, get your chest higher. How do you handle those little technique things when you're training?
I just listen to myself anymore because there's so many opinions. Like so many people talk about so many different angles and things and whatevers. And just growing up in martial arts and understanding my own body and feeling like my stuff looks I know when my stuff's not good, and I still upload that because I still like the combos or whatever, and I know when my stuff is good. So I can feel when I know what I want my stuff to look like. So I mean, I think that's what's cool about tricking is you get to choose what your stuff looks like, no matter what people complain or say about it. In the end, you get to choose what it looks like. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's one of the things is people keep forgetting that it's a martial art. So it's actually just a representation of really your creativity, and however you want to display that is awesome. Where you take a sport like cheerleading or gymnastics, they deduct, oh, your toes are pointed, your hips sucked. Whereas tricking, you're just kind of like out there and it's just, all right, this looks cool, I'm going to keep going.
Right.
So who do you look up to?
And tricking?
Yes.
Oh man, I think my favorite person to watch and to trick with would probably be Rasmus Ott.
Oh yeah.
He's amazing.
He's creative too.
Like,
He's got some crazy
he's
stuff.
awesome. Yeah, probably him for tricks. He's awesome. And then just all my buddies. Like whenever we get together and trick, that's who pushes me the most and gets me to do stuff I don't want to do. So, yeah, my buddies are who I look up to.
Then what keeps you motivated?
My buddies.
That's good, man. That's good.
Just like my homies, 𝗕𝗕𝗃𝗃, 𝗵𝗵𝘂𝘀𝗃𝗃, all those guys from out there. People in Colorado. Like, I mean, my people know who they are.
That's good,
all
man.
my homies everywhere. I got people from California, people everywhere, man, all over the world. All my homies, when I get to see them and in session with them, that's what keeps me tricking. Just being around them and having a good session. I don't even. My opinion of tricking has changed so much since the earlier days of like just throwing things and not caring, whatever. I just have a different understanding of things now, and it's much different. So yeah, that's what kind of keeps me going, is just tricking with my buddies.
Let's dive into that a little bit. I am a philosopher myself, man. So how has your understanding or interpretation of tricking changed over the years?
I think then it was more just like before it was more of a fuck it, chuck it, but now it's like definitely like let's prepare for it. Let's think what tricks do we need to take before this so we can avoid injury in the long term. And also it was before just kind of like let's go to gatherings and just kind of have fun and do this, that, and the other. And now it's like I'd like to go there and I'd like to learn about what they're doing, and I'd like to market and figure out who wants to learn what from me. And like I said, my living for the longest time was just Skype lessons. Like I just figured out how to make Skype lessons work, and I got kids from like Africa, or not really kids, but like people like you and myself, like people my age, and was just teaching them from their backyards or even their gyms or whatever. Double corks and working on corks or even gainers, or some people even first starting out just figuring out how they need to get into tricking and stuff like that, or even just having meetings with people like this and telling them what they need to do to get into tricks. So that's kind of what that is.
Cool, man. You said a lot there. So I think part of that is kind of growing up where I used to have that too. I mean, I was like learning front flips just on the grass. I took my couch cushions out there, threw them down, I'd land on my ass a bunch. It like shock your nuts. I don't know if you ever felt that feeling. It's terrible, but it's the same thing. Like as I progressed, I became a lot more mature just in kind of protecting longevity, as well as kind of taking a more business approach of trying to actually meet people. And you know, in your case, your marketing and stuff like that. Oh man, you said some good stuff there. But what do you tell people that are getting into tricking?
Find a community for sure. You got to find a group of people that it's going to keep you going, or you're not going to keep going. Really, I mean, you got to get like your people going and get everything smooth. And even though I work up here in Wichita, Kansas, or whatever, and I'm still from Kansas City. I go up there every other weekend still, but there's like an awesome community of kids up there that some of them I still haven't even had the chance to meet just from them not being there, but they've joined and they've tricked, and like there's still Kansas City trickers I haven't even met yet. So it's awesome to see that from me growing up having a Kansas City tricking community and it not really being very big, and then my buddies growing it, and then it not being very big, and then me trying to grow it, and then not being very big, and then I kind of gave it to some other people, and they were like, all right, well, let's do this, and then they kind of took the initiative and made some people come through, and they have a pretty awesome tricking community now, and there's people throwing double corks, and I haven't even seen them land it yet, and it's insane.
That's really exciting, man. It's just kind of like a product of your just influence in this area completely blowing up. Where would you like to see tricking 5 years from now?
I mean, I'd like to see trickers making money.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I mean, I'd like to see people that have put work and time into it and understand what they're doing and know what they're doing, have some way to make money purely through that. Not teaching tumbling, not teaching gymnastics, not teaching fitness or whatever. If they want to do those things, that's awesome. But if they just want to focus on tricking and what they're actually known for and good at, then they should have a job for that. So I mean,
yeah, that's true. Doesn't Red Bull do some sort of tricking thing? Don't they have some sort of festival?
They have multiple tricking events throughout the year, especially in different countries, even Korea and stuff like that. And those events are actually really professional. You can get paid if you win money and stuff like that. There is only one professionally paid sponsored Red Bull athlete, and that is 𝗵𝗵𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗃. So he is a sponsored athlete through Red Bull, and he is paid to travel and work with them and do whatever. So he's legit.
So is that something you'd like to do eventually?
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in having things like that. I mean, definitely all of those things help, and it's definitely fun and cool. And definitely
Right.
what I'm more focused on now is just kind of getting a karate school going, so I can have like a home base and
Right.
like a constant flow of finances and stuff like that, so I can really move on in life and grow up and have a family and stuff like that, because I am getting older.
That's true. These bags of meat are aging slowly but surely.
Yes.
So, few questions there. You is mostly you just make your money from Skype lessons?
Yeah, now I'm up in Wichita, Kansas, like I said, and running a karate school up here, so that's
Okay.
another area of revenue coming through there. So yeah, that's what I do. I just do karate and tricking for a living.
Dude, that's exciting, man. You just built a living all around doing what you love. Is it that one? Okay, so you have like some sort of studio with a spring floor in it. Is that the gym that you are talking about here?
Yeah, I'm here. It's up here. It's like 2 minutes from my house. Yeah, it's got a spring floor. That's where my girlfriend's at. She's over there teaching private lessons to some little girls, learning back tucks. Like 7 years old, doing a
That's
back
crazy.
tuck. I know, she's insane.
That's
She's
awesome.
pretty good with kids. So, yep, that's that floor is pretty cool. But it's just a children's facility, so the ceiling so far is not super high. Like I can do kicks and snapus and cheat tens and whatever's, double V twist, but not really a good idea to do like a gainer switch swing double cork or like a round off flash kick, because I would definitely kick the ceiling. But
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks pretty tight, but
yeah, they're looking
go
to
ahead.
expand to I think we're at like 3,000 something square feet now, and they're looking to expand to like an 11,000. So
Oh yeah?
it's a much bigger upgrade that they're getting ready to go to, and the ceilings are all lifted. So
Mhm. That's really cool. And when you say you're teaching karate, just a few more questions here. When you say you're teaching karate, is that just mostly tricking, or is that also more traditional?
so it's actually like it's my curriculum. Like this guy hired me to come in and write a curriculum for his karate school, and really help him just be his partner and run the business and stuff like that. And that's what we've done. He's awesome at marketing, and he's awesome. He's done awesome at running the school and getting kids in there. And so I came in and wrote really. I just have like traditional bases in there, like you learn all your basics and stuff like that. And you can learn traditional forms. We don't teach them too often, but it's really focused on just like the CMX and tricking. So it's like focused on the XMA type karate and tricking based. So we have tricking just classes and stuff like that, where you just come in like your karate pants and a t-shirt, and you just trick for 30 minutes, and then after that you have a class which is 45 minutes, and you train like your XMA forms and other things like that, and also your basics, and like we do fighting and self defenses and things like that still. So I mean, it's because I have also another instructor with me that we team up with, and he teaches a lot of the self defense and stuff like that. We also incorporate fitness and whatever. So I mean, it's definitely very busy and very crazy. So.
That's awesome, man. That's really exciting. I know that most studios don't do a lot of XMA. I don't know. I've got so many benefits from doing things that are outside my comfort zone, and just doing a trick or learning a 540 or front flip, back flip, whatever. I've gotten so much more benefit out of that. Just me personally, rather than doing forms after forms after forms, it kind of represents a little. It's just always a little challenge you can overcome, and I think if you can get kids to start thinking about knocking down these barriers really early, that's going to really help in their martial arts careers.
No doubt. Yep. So yeah, we're totally both. I mean, really, we are XMA based. Like that's all we do. We're a CMX curriculum karate school. So that's really all we base on. So I mean, like some of our forms, like requirements that you have to learn, it includes a spin, hook, cartwheel, or aerial, or stuff like that in their forms if they have it. So I mean, it's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool.
That's true. I know that, well, just not to knock on my studio, but it was just a lot of the same sort of stuff. We never really had to do stuff outside of really, we would do that. I would do that stuff afterwards, but I mean, for the most part, it was just sticking to what we're comfortable with, and that kind of gets you in a rut and doesn't really push you and challenge you. So
right. It can be very different from karate school to karate school for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, big question for you. What would you be able to hang your hat on? Like, what is your dream trick? Or dream combination?
Man. I don't know. I used to like going for twist after twist after twist, and now I just want to individualize my tricks so much so that like if you were to watch a silhouette moving, that you'd know it was me.
That you'd know it's you.
Yeah.
Well, Art, man, I think that could be it for this episode. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Man, I think that's it. I really appreciate you having me. It's been an awesome time and super fun.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining. And what other you are? Do you want to talk about your clothing line really quick?
Clothing line, yeah, actually, it's
You're in,
pretty cool.
let's throw it in
I'm
here.
working on actually coming up with my own stuff. I have like a little karate team called G3. So I've
Okay.
been working on getting some G3, which kind of represents my last name, Guthrie G3. So I'm kind of trying to
Mhm.
get some actually t-shirts and clothing line stuff going there, and that'll be actually out soon. So
That's
out for
exciting.
it. Yep.
What kind of well, is it just mostly just kind of clothing, or is it kind of flexible pants or karate pants or anything like
We're
that?
gonna do like just like t-shirts, long sleeve shirts. We'll do hoodies. We'll get some hats, and then we'll get some like athletic shorts and things like that. And we're just gonna try to expand as far as we can. Maybe socks and stuff like that. My goal is to just kind of try to get every little aspect of stuff, just because it's cool. And even if it doesn't sell a whole lot, it's cool to have for me and for me to hand out to my team and stuff like that. So I'm looking
That
to
is
do some
true.
pretty cool stuff.
Cool, man. Well, that's exciting. And where can people find you on Instagram, Facebook, wherever?
Yeah, my Instagram is at @MichaelGuthrie2, and then let's check the G3 one. What's that? G3 competition team.
Cool. And is that's the Instagram account?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Well, all right, man, it has been an absolute pleasure. I know that you are pushing the boundaries of this sport, and it's exciting to watch. The 𝗕𝗄𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 has is awesome, and all the tricks you do are really sick, so I know that I appreciate it. I know that the entire community loves you, so keep up the good work, man. We're excited to keep seeing these tricks.
I appreciate it, brother. You have an awesome
All right,
one, and
man.
I appreciate it. And I'm down to do this anytime, so hope to talk to you soon again.
That sounds good, man. All right. You take care, all right? Enjoy your Saturday.
Yep, thanks, Justin.
See you. Alright, everyone, that is it for the 31st episode. That show was awesome. Michael Guthrie is absolutely awesome. If you guys haven't seen any of his work, go Google search that right now, and you're going to have your mind absolutely blown. He's super flexible, and he can just throw his body around in ways that just don't seem possible. And him, I mean, I would actually put him in a category of being maybe one of the world's best trickers. Absolutely well-rounded, and he just does the coolest things. As far as the 𝗕𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 is concerned, he is the only person in the world to have done that trick, and that just speaks so much about him. He's got a great mindset. He loves this community. He loves giving back to the people. I enjoyed that conversation. I really appreciate everything he stands for. So, Michael, if you are listening to this again, thank you very much for taking your time. I had an absolute riot talking to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do in the future. Otherwise, that'll be it. You guys know where to find me. Facebook.com/the Bauer Hour Podcast. Send me a tweet at the Bauer Hour Pod. And I think that's pretty much it. If you guys were interested in my Instagram accounts, check out knowledge_is_Bauer. And all my fitness and even my tricking stuff is on my Instagram account at Sorta Gymnastics, SORTA. Granted, you're not going to see the next triple or anything like that, but that's where I like to share all my creative stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you for listening. If you are still listening, please go ahead to the show on iTunes and subscribe. That actually helps out so much. Leave a comment, leave a rating, obviously 5 stars. This is a great show. Absolutely flawless. I'm a flawless host, as you guys know. I'm just kidding. But anyway, that would greatly help out the show, and that'll be it for the episode. Thank you guys for joining. I'll see you guys tomorrow. An exciting story to share. See ya!